Assault on women is something we've observed over the years, and we talked about it a few times. So recently, the Osun State Police Command on Sunday has been silent on the outcome of its probe into the alleged assault of a female cop, Inspector Bamidele Olorunsogo, by her superior, Matthew Ajayi. The two police officers have been attached to the Ode-Omu Police Division in Osun State. Olorunsogo had accused Ajayi, the divisional crime officer, of assault. She, in a video that went viral, displayed open wounds, allegedly inflicted on her by Ajayi after they refused to have an affair with him. Now, we can't verify her claims, but we did see the open wounds on her. But the issue also can be related to a recent story of a woman, I think was also in Enugu State, who was stripped naked because she allegedly stole snail. We've discussed this over and again. I think something happened, wasn't it on Onitsha, or it was in Anambra sometime, so I think last year or something, where a woman too was stripped naked. I can't remember what happened with her own issue, where with the governor's wife, the first lady, got involved, and we got the National Assembly member to get involved. So we talked about it, but we keep talking about this thing over and over again. How do we curb this incessant assault on women? How do we curb the fact that anger gets somebody to the point of assault? Confrontation has to be physical, not verbal anymore. How do we get people to have conversations? And it's important to us on this show specifically because one of the reasons why this show was created was to let people have options of resolving issues, of sharing views that are diverse but yet valid. So that's why we're bringing up this conversation again. How do we help these people? And we also want to use the opportunity to bring back the issue so that it's not swept under the carpet, because they've been silent on this in Osun State. The police command has been silent. We haven't been able to hear any reports. And there have been so many other issues like this that just get swept under the carpet, and we choose not to have it swept under the carpet. You can join the conversation on 081-270-53687, 09139076948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Ima.
One of the strongest ways to deter any negative behavior or criminal act is to put consequence to it and trend the consequence as well as even over the act itself that happened. For instance, this Osun case, imagine that, the face of the man becomes, I know the police force have been able to sanitize police and citizens' abuses over the years. We've started hearing some of the consequences, the number of people laid off work, people made to face criminal charges, but we've seen some covered up.
Yes.
For instance, the one in Iba, the one that happened in that Iba area then, that this was point blank shot 2 guys in the bus, already handcuffed guys, and nothing happened. And so this one is such that put the face of the police officer, senior police officer, out there, because there's nowhere in the world that the consequence of a subordinate behavior is to abuse them, assault them to the point of bleeding, that they can do like this, see my body, Even in the cadre of police ranking, it's either demotion, displacement or something. But you cannot carry somebody's wife, daughter, child, anybody, because you're in the police and beat the person, and there'll be mark wounds. It's not possible. So let's see consequence to... It's
important to also let Nigerians know that the Inspector General of Police, Idris Alkali Ababa, actually specifically ordered an investigation, which is supposed to be 2 days. But the reason why this story came up, because it was 5 days after the Osun State Command still didn't come up with an update. And even while it was asked, he just replied, the reporter said that no update yet. So we are bringing up this again to the fore because we want it to be investigated.
Yes.
We want to get a response.
And sorry, quickly to add that, the area commander in Ikere was asked to quiz them. Quiz who? They can investigate into it, but to quiz them is like...
That's an investigation. Quiz is part of investigation.
No. Let's not do family set. Let's not quiz them like as if we're doing a family. Your brother and sister come. What happened? That kind of thing.
That's your own interpretation of quiz. It might not be that. Anyway, let me come to you, Mariam. Your thoughts on this?
My thoughts on this is...
The assault, generally.
Yes, just assault, just gender-based violence. This is a huge conversation that we're having constantly. And, we've just... growing up, you see down your street, and sometimes if you're not in some of these communities, you think that it's over, that it doesn't happen anymore. But thank God to social media, we get to see some of these stories, even in far-off places and communities where we would normally, we would not be there to see it. And so I'm happy that, that a light is being shown on this and we're talking about it. And it's important because I believe strongly that it's a cultural thing. It just seems that it's okay to harass and assault a woman. That's men doing it to women. It's almost okay to do that and acceptable to do that, even culturally, where you would see even like a group of men will be doing it and women are just standing aside, looking at it happening, and blaming the victim when it happens. So the only way, because the question was, how did we get here? What do we need to do? The thing is, we need to keep talking about it like we're doing now. And secondly, there has to be consequences for this. And it cannot be dealt only as a family matter where we'll sit you there, okay, who was at fault, who's not at fault. First of all, arrest somebody. Yeah. Arrest them for the assault. Punish them for the assault. If there was something else that had brought about it, you can punish the other person for those crimes. But to come and just attack people and strip them naked, we need to arrest people and punish them for stripping women naked. I don't know, and I see it's mostly men. How do you even do it? You see a woman who's old enough to be your mother, or and you strip that person naked, and you're comfortable, watching her in the way that you shaming her. I don't even know how people think and carry out that sort of thing. So it's important that people are punished and then they are made an example of. And also empower women in such a way that they can speak up. Yeah. So if a woman were to report this to a traditional head or the police station, she should not be tossed, whatever her evidence is tossed away. She should be empowered in such a way that other women are able to stand up for themselves, and if they cannot, if they are overpowered, they know where to go to and where they will get justice. All right, let me come to you, Murtabak. Your thoughts on this, because, it's quite painful. In my head, I wanted to think, do we have a female Inspector General of Police? But must I wait for a female Inspector General of Police to have these kind of things addressed? Must we have a house full of a gender-based, gender-balanced force to have these things change? When do we begin to fix this problem?
So, thankfully, we have a lot of he for she's. These are men that understand that women are an equal contributor to the growth of the society, and they respect and value that presence. They don't see a woman as substandard or subhuman or subservient. They understand and appreciate what a woman brings to the table. We have enough of them, actually. But that's on one end. On the other end of this conversation this is cultural. It's been said, but it's cultural. It's cultural to shame and strip a woman. It's historical to do it. But it's not all things that are historical that are right. And several things in our history that were culturally known by us as what we do, we've changed. So this can also be changed. We must become a society that now frowns and do not allow anyone feel like a form of justice. We must forbid. The same way we stopped killing twins. We must, as a society, forbid that if you want to carry out justice against a woman, that you want to feel like you want to punish a woman, you want to call her a prostitute or to strip her naked. Those are the two things we do. If a woman does something you don't like, you say, oh, she's a prostitute, or you now strip her naked. The speed with which men dive for a woman's clothes to remove it. Yes. In the market space, they will say, she's wearing something too short. Who could carry everything up? And they will lift up a woman's dress. This should be forbidden. And how do you do that? Is by everybody that has done it being severely punished for it. And it's not lip service. The first thing that should be done, it was not a doubt. Everybody knew that policeman, the policeman that was a senior, beats a junior policewoman. Under no circumstance you do that. Be saying we're first investigating. First you are suspended. That's a language. That's a language we want to see. When you drop that kind of language, every other person will start sitting up that we can't get away with this thing again, because many men have gotten away with doing this. Everybody will gather and they lynch. Everybody will gather and they will beat up and they will strip naked, and it is seen as normal. When we start having quick, swift action on this thing. And Lagos is still enjoying. This is Lagos. Lagos is enjoying a lot. But other states don't have, they don't even have a unit. The way Lagos has a ministry for domestic violence and sexual reports.
There's some when I'm thinking about, I'm trying to see who could have helped. Who could have actually helped change this narrative? in the past, I know, the first ladies were very strong in things like that. I remember this Bangladesh wife, I can't remember her name.
Mariam.
Yeah, Mary. I mean, there's some of these issues that this is what first ladies, you hold, like, you change the narrative. The local government, the chairman of the local government. You see, I keep saying local government to be as if I have an issue against them. But you see, they are the closest to the people. If you don't have a budget as a local government chairman, your number one task is to reorientate. Let's change the money. Okay, I don't have money to do roads. I don't have money to clear gutters. But let's have consistent town hall meetings, changing the minds of people. This is how we do things. Oh, no matter how this one, bring up life issues. Discuss it. We have your view on your own. Have your view conversation in your various local governments, in your ward areas, in your community. Town hall meetings. Constantly change the minds of people. Give them options. If somebody stole something, this is what you do. Let them know. Talk to the people. It's not governor. It's not president. These are local issues. These are human issues that need human resolution. Well, that's what our first ladies used to be very active in these kind of things.
You're not lying. That's fact. Remember the naval attack to one young lady sometime in VI, whose father turned out to be a member or a staff with the National Assembly, and how all the first ladies, lawmakers, ensured that naval officer that stripped her was brought to book. And then she even sued him and she got, court judgment over it. It was the noise made by the strongest of society that got her that justice faster than anybody else would have done it, or even the court system. And when kidnapping became popular, Houses of Assembly sat up and said, okay, if a person now dies in your custody, it's death sentence. They reacted. They passed laws. I'm saying this because this is not the first time they are stripping somebody up east. We took a story down east. Is it down or up?
It's down.
Okay, we are down here. We took a story in the past about which state was that the first lady now said, they had gone to help the lady and, they've assisted her. She was supposed to be a witch. And they gathered, they beat her, The Houses of Assembly in these states, who is paying their salary? Why are they sleeping? Exactly. It's becoming a menace in those societies to have him. This woman, one of the videos that we could not share, a woman was stripped and she was made to carry snail on her head because she took it from the shrine.
And there were young boys doing that.
It is now embarrassing. House of Assembly of those states should now pass laws that makes it illegal and put consequence of years of imprisonment on men involved, because these men, all their faces, they were showing in the video. They did not hide. They were beating her with branches, stripped her naked, made her to carry. They did it shamelessly. And so there must be consequence if you want to deter that kind of thing. Pass a law. Let it be law so that when the first ladies are even talking, they have something to read and say, oh, this is illegal in our society. And it's not President Buhari from the federal government or National Assembly that has to pass this law. Each state, local, subnationals can do these things without needing anybody, but they'll wait until we shout. Then you have a first lady respond and say, oh, ladies of your view, my office has responded, we've taken the lady in, we've rehabilitated her. Those are not the issues we want. We want the lady's family to be able to say, how dare you strip my mom before I came back? Okay, we've taken the matter to court, and the court have a bill or a law with which they can act and say, okay, now it's a consequence. That you can prevent future. Yes, so you're in prison for doing this. And then we can have references like that. We detail like that when we have such precedents.
Go ahead, please, Mary.
Yes, I just even want to have this conversation with the women in communities like this. When you sit down at home with the boys or the men that have done this, what do they say to each other? What do you say? Why did you strip this woman naked, this mama that that lives down the street? Probably you know her son or you know her children. How are you comfortable stripping her naked one day and coming back into my house and sitting down and being comfortable? If you can do that to that mama, you can do it to me, your mother, you can do it to me, your sister, What sort of conversations do we have at family levels? That is where we begin to change mindset. It's not when people are fighting on the road.
Came here, she said that we don't get shame in
shame
again. We don't have shame. And everything just done anyhow. We're still discussing this issue of gender-based violence, and we're saying it because it's something we've always said over the years, and it seems as though there's no solution in sight. Let me come to you, Takwe.
So people are shaped by communication. And right now, even though we are all together in this, our Nigerian space, on those of us in Nigeria that we are in Nigeria, we are actually not together. Many of us are on social media. We don't have a place where we can all commune. we grew up with people going to the Oba's palace, and then there's town hall meeting, and everybody in the village must attend the town hall meeting. So if the Oba has declared there is this sacred thing everybody must not do, there will be announcement. We watch Yoruba movies. Everybody will gather for a meeting, and then it will be announced to everybody, this is what we should do. We don't have that. Even within estates now, to do your estates meetings, people don't show up. Everybody is too busy. And how does information that will transform the society gets dispersed around? We need to go back into, look, when you say local governments should do what local government do? How would they reach out to people? We need to start having reorientation meeting as a people. How can we do it? Is it physical? Is it in ward level? Can we start gathering? I read a case study of how Martin Luther King and how they did the bus boycott. How they did that was because every black person at that time were attending church services every day. Communication was swift. You come to church, we give you information. Tomorrow, you pass it to every other person. We need to start having communities. Because it is when we have communities that you will know that boy, and you will look at him and can point at him.
I hear you, but you see, we're not partnering with government because we don't trust the government. Communities, your estate, Mariam Estate is having a meeting. Government says, I'd like to come and talk to you. I beg, you're not interested. Or they get it out. Church, government would like to come and talk to you. No, they will say that we're partisan.
It's religion.
You know, so what do we want?
We need to open up the communication
because you have
channel.
to partner with the government at some point, regardless of which government is in power, because there's a social responsibility to the people. So these small communities, we don't have a KKD anymore, but we now have small estate meetings, small church meetings, Muslim meetings, community. We have those meetings. Government is available. Come and talk to these people. These are what we want to do.
Are you sure government is available, Mariah? Because government can decide to engage on what the policy is.
Government may not be available when we need them to be available because they are only available during elections.
Yes, they are everywhere.
After election, everybody goes to their smaller places, collect their money, and then face their small projects.
You know, another thing is, we're talking about this generally, but with the one that happened with the police officer, it's important that the police make a very...
Yes. I want us to bring us back to... Yes. Let me pause you for a quick second, because I have Gabriel's been holding for a while. Good morning, Gabriel from Oyo. Oh, I'm so sorry I lost that call. You're talking...
Yes, the police needs to be quite visible on the process of investigation in this particular case. They need to show us how this person is being investigated, how the punishment that person receives, and the justice that the policewoman would receive for that particular action. Because whether we like it or not, the police know that they are the face of enforcement of the policies, enforcement of the law, and if you're found wanting, what else are you telling people?
The police
then you're also saying
of our culture. No, from this place.
But it's different because they have a constitution. It's an organized body. There are do's and don'ts. There are things that you're meant to do and can carry out. So that's why you wear a uniform. It does not matter if you're Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, whatever your religion or your community. When you're a police officer, this is what is expected of you. And also, you stand as a representative of the Nigerian government and constitution and how you want other Nigerians to behave. So if you fail at that level, then we will continue to fail. That means you're telling women that they have no place to go. If a policewoman in uniform cannot get justice, you are saying to regular Nigerian woman, she has no place to go to get justice.
I wanted to harp on what Miriam said earlier, that, women, what would the women who are sisters and mothers of the men who beat up a woman publicly and stripped her, how would they feel? Would they accommodate them back home? And it's sad to see women at the beginning and the ending of this issue itself. That one is one fact. Talk about you took the Ikeja story.
Yeah.
That, is painful. Where you see women at their homes, because a woman knows what it means to be stripped naked. A woman is the one who knows how indignifying, how degrading it makes a woman feel. It's a woman who will encourage the stripping, the shaving of the head, all sorts of these things. And women who allow it. If one woman, we have women in history. If I saw the movie recently of the Aba riots and how it happened, and how the story sort of focuses on Aba, the town where it happens, and does not emphasize the neighboring Cross River, Akwa Ibom women who took boat rides all the way to Aba to ensure that riot happened.
Support.
Women who started those kind of fights. Women who said, "You dare not strip my kind naked in public." Women who would stand and stop such abuses. And shame on any woman, anywhere, in any family, within and outside, who silently thinks it's okay.
Let me take this call from Abimbola. Good morning, Abimbola. Are you there?
Good morning.
You're live.
Please, I want to make a comment to what you just said.
Please.
Like you said, I just want to implore all women that confidence is not all about how you look. Anyway, but I didn't follow the video. I did from what I just used from what you said. Women should be confident about themselves, what to carry them on. It's not until you feel indecently or whatever that will have cost a man to you. Then the side of you were talking about communal contribution, how we can help change the narrative about how we build life. Communal relationships and communications oversight is very, very important.
Oh, it was very hard to listen to Abimbola. You know, but you see, as I said again, let's not even also absolve the traditional rulers in this. They have a huge role because we see them going around for parties and, you know, giving the kings are here, the chiefs. You know, there's work to be done, chiefs.
What do they believe in?
What do the chiefs and obas believe? Because we see a lot of them, they attend events. We see many kings, you know, go around. But I'm thinking, what can they do? How can we bring them into this conversation? Because they are the custodians of culture and traditions. And they must be the ones to champion this he for she. They must be the one to champion against this denigration of women.
Can I answer what they believe in? Is good for the other person, not my kind. If it was the Oba's wife, or daughter who did something, the Oba would kill the story. Look at history. How many daughters, princesses, they will not start to do class and status. But what is a stranger passing by? They'll say, Kashim, you know, all sorts of nonsense. Today, it's so painful that we see our Obas only at festivals. We no longer see our Obas pronouncements. Obas used to make pronouncements. In this village, for instance, if the, what they call their own, is it Igwe, you know, says, from today henceforth, any family seen to carry out this kind of practices, ostracized, only you will see it will stop. You don't even need laws from National Assembly to make us go through court processes. Their own is faster. Make a pronouncement against it and say, this must not happen again.
Well, the people believe in pronouncements anymore.
This
social media
community.
It's Lagos you are, that's why you think it doesn't work. If Oba makes pronouncements at home, people rush and obey. If they say there's a pronouncement, don't travel on Thursday, we want to do a traditional something ritual, nobody will come out. They will sit at home. So what are you saying?
Everybody sits now.
But if it is the Oba's daughter that they now say, the thing that she has done is sacrilege, she must move around naked in the village, you see Oba start to consult meetings upon meetings on how they can avert it.
Because it's their own.
All right, so let's take a few comments on social media. Nima, you have
Okay, Rolake says, women are the ones behind every problem and solutions. Most men are instigated by women to harm another woman. The laws in Nigeria will never and can never forever favor a woman because the women are the ones who mostly body shame themselves. Justice in Nigeria is a scam. Rolake, this is deep. He says, I don't think, okay, we're talking to Morale that she recalls Mariam Babangida's better life for rural women correctly. Objectives were education, agriculture, healthcare, but all they did was spend government's fund on projects and zero audit.
So what I was trying to drive at, it's always important to clarify because people just like to hear who they are to what you're saying. What I was trying to say is that first ladies get involved, not necessarily in this kind of issues, but we hear their voices more, their presence, wherever they are. I am the first lady of the state or first lady of the country. There's something, you have a pet project that we hear your voices, but in recent times, we've not heard a lot of these things in recent times where I talked about Fayemi's wife.
Yes.
She was very active in the issue of was it rape? Was it rape?
On rape, on women involvement in politics. She put a lot of
It was quite vocal. So we need more of those multiple voices of women speaking. Yes, let's give you more comments.
Oh, okay.
Any more?
Okay,
so I mean, as we wrap up on this, I mean, as I said, it's a continuous conversation that we will continue to have. Unfortunately. Until we have real laws that change across the country, not just in states. I said Lagos has a few laws protecting women, but we heard that the woman was stripped naked in Ikeja. I mean, I can't verify the story, but somebody would just send us a message that somebody was stripped naked. So, but you see, when it happens, somebody must report it. But we instead of reporting it, we just call them and have a meeting and try to get them to resolve it. Let's do the proper thing. Let's report it to the police.
People who were witnessing it. Yes. How did they feel?
So there are proper ways of it. There's even the DSVRT that you can go. Yes. You can call them up, speak to them and report these cases, they are there to help. So especially in Lagos State, we know that Lagos State has the laws, but other states too must take that cue and begin to have laws to protect women. This act of stripping women naked must stop, period. So I have to wrap up. Let me take Tunji's call from Ekiti. Good morning, Adetunji.
Hello, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, please, I just want to contribute to the issue that is going on.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm very, very delighted. I just want to give a kudos to one of our former boss lady, the person of Mrs. Ayedaade. He has done a great deal in this aspect we are talking about. But the problem we are facing is that most of the women are stepping. Don't even know, they concentrate more or less on the West instead of their health. Most of these women, most especially the wife of the chairman of the local government, instead of them to focus on this, it is the way they focus on, so that they can liberate a lot of people.
They focus on what?
And another issue is this issue. Instead of them to focus on their health, for them not to be beaten by their husbands or whatsoever, but they focus on the wealth, the money.
Wealth, okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's another point to it. Then another issue is this issue of religion. In fact, I just watched one of your shows about yesterday. You had with Okay Bakati about side chick that we are talking about forgiveness. That's another issue to it. If they can just make a law to be a law, irrespective of anybody, I repeat, irrespective of anybody, this society will be a place to live in.
Right.
Because
Thank you, Adetunji. In Lagos State, they have something called COUSTO, which is the Committee of Wives of Lagos State, and they do a lot of things within that organization. We need more of that across the country.
Yeah.
We need more. Maybe they have in other states, and I'm not aware. Yeah. But the Committee of Wives of various leaders within the state should come out and these kind of find the issues that are prevalent within your society and focus on it and ensure
the bill that criminalizes this in your state. Women, you know, it's an act against women. It's gender-based
specifically, not the one that is just general.
Push the bill.
Specifically against stripping women naked.
In the
push the bill.
states too, let the women push the bill to stop and criminalize this. Someone is saying online that we've had a long-time generational culture that encourages gender-based violence against women. Going forward, we should deliberate about, one, how to train our male children to protect their female, train our male children to see female as equal partners, and three, pay more attention to our male children to respect women. Yeah. So, you know, this has to start at home, so that when your friends start it, you will not join. You'll be like, no, I cannot join you people to strip somebody naked. What are you enjoying in it?
That's what
you know, what do you derive
what do
in
you
it?
see?
And then when they bring the matter to the traditional rulers, why are you asking them to state what happened? Why are you not getting everybody locked up first for saying, did you people do this to this woman? Everybody first to the dungeon.
We can see your
if
picture.
They have dungeon.
Remember the lecturer
You know?
that sat down beside that
and cut
and
that
was
girl.
cutting her dress off. You were sitting down beside your daughter's age mate. That could have been your daughter. And you were, in your head, it was okay to strip her. And it did not come across as being perverted and disgusting to you.
We have to wrap up on this, but I think in a nutshell, this practice must stop, period.
100%.
And we expect that those who are leaders in whatever capacity should first of all treat the issue first before start asking. Just like Nima said, when this kind of matter is brought, first of all, detain everybody, show the community must see that you are actually very, very passionate about and concerned about the issues of gender-based violence. And I think this must be seen across, but even with the police, I believe that the police are a reflection of who we are, but Miriam has said that even though they're a reflection of who we are, but they are still, they're an organization based on rules and principles. So what are the principles and laws within the police force? How are they supposed to treat each other, colleagues? How are they supposed to treat women within the police? These are conversations. This thing that happened in Osun State, we don't want it swept under the carpet. We're hoping that the Inspector of General Police will follow through. The same way there are so many cases, we're asking him to follow through, even across the country, on issues based, gender-based violence against women.